boaters, Keith McGowan here. I am the Outboard Dad, here to help you have a better boating experience. Today we're back in Mike's boat. We're going to hopefully put the finishing touches on this, turn the key, and watch that choke primer work properly and fire up this motor for Mike. We haven't primed it, I haven't done anything yet. I'm still finishing up the fuel line, and that's what we're going to do today. And this video today is brought to you by the Ansel MR500 Yamaha diagnostic tool for your 4-stroke motor. Older motors, if you don't want to be paying mechanics big bucks to keep evaluating and finding out what's going on and doing their diagnostics you pay them for, you can get your own tool. You can look in the link. There's a link in my description with a discount code from the Outboard Dad. So check it out, save thousands, and find problems and learn how to keep your outboard motor going longer and longer. Let's get into this fuel system. So first we're going to take the screws out of the old. I could take the filter off, but what I'm hoping to do is get it to a point where I can dump it over and dump it into my jar here, try and save some fuel spills. So let's see if we can get on this. That's one Phillips head screw. Now I don't know if the new fuel water separator will line up in the same holes or not, so we may have to drill. But we'll find out very shortly. Now what I don't want to do is I don't want to put what's in here and put it back into the tank, right? I want to disconnect it from the tank, hook it into my jar, and then dump it. So if there's any crap in there, we're going to find it in my jar, right? All right, so now my filter is loose. Let's go ahead and we'll disconnect it from our tank here. I've already got this pretty loose. I'm going to get my jar ready. Notice I have my nitrile gloves on today. Let's see if we can catch some of this fuel. Let's see if we can pick this up and some of it will drain out into here. Looks like that's about all we're going to get. Looks a little bit milky. Interesting. I think what I'm going to do now is see if I can unscrew this filter or see if I can pull this hose out the rest of the way. And I want to get the rest of that fuel into that jar because I'm concerned that there's crap in there. These are good clamps. We'll save them a couple bucks and reuse these. All right, well, I'm going to pull this through. Okay, so here's our old one. Let's dump both of these hoses into here and see what comes out of this. Okay, that was a little more successful than I thought. So it looked a little cloudy originally. This doesn't look too bad, but we're going to let it sit. We're going to put this aside. Put the top on that because I'm prone to kicking it over. I have to go get the new fuel water separator that's in the garage because I left it there. Okay, one of the things we had to do was we had to take this angle fitting off of the old one. As you can see, I cleaned it up thoroughly. I put it in my parts washer, my carb cleaner, made sure everything was clear, no debris in there, and we're going to add this. I do like this yellow Teflon tape. I don't know who makes it. If you send me a comment, I will definitely look into it to see, but it's worked the best for me. So the old one had the angle because it kind of comes in at an angle there, so we're going to cap off the two sides here so that one fuel line goes down because it goes down into the tank. So that'll be this one because the arrow goes out, and the other one will go straight in. And we have the fittings that come with it for that. So what you want to do with your Teflon tape, you want to make sure you have a clean piece. If you don't have a clean piece, then cut it off. Make sure your hands are clean. See, I'm wiping on my pants. So you want to make sure your hands are clean. You don't want any debris on there when you tighten this up that's going to make it leak, right? So I'm going to go ahead and stretch it a little bit. And you don't have to go crazy with this. Probably 3 wraps is probably enough because this is a little thicker than the standard white Teflon tape. There's nothing wrong with using the white, but this is what I like to use. And we'll go ahead and tighten this in here. Notice I'm keeping the filter on. The filter has a plastic wrap around it, and I just want to keep everything clean while I'm assembling. Then I can unscrew this, and I can take the plastic off and then screw it back on so that I don't screw it up. So we'll tighten this up. These are 9/16. Also gives me a little grip with the filter on it so I can get a good burn. So any of you pipe fitters out there will know, I just burn that in, as old timers would say when they're tightening up their black pipe fittings. Now we'll wrap up our angled one. And then we'll put the 2 plugs on the other side. And I'm going to hook up the hose to it first, slide it in place, make sure and let my hose go out to where it has to connect to my squeeze ball, cut it there, and then I'll pull it back, put the next line inside there, get that tightened up on there, and then mount it to place. Make sense? All right, let's do that. Okay, we got our plugs in. Had a little setback as usual when you work on stuff. The fittings that ProMarine gave us are 5/16 barb, and we need 3/8 for this. I got the right fuel hose, but these are good. This is good for up to 250 horsepower, so we know the size is correct, but those are the barb fittings that came with it. So luckily I keep a stock of different size barb fittings, so I had another new one for that. So this is ready to go. We're just going to go ahead and take the plastic off of our filter so we know it's nice and clean when we start out. All right, we'll thread this on here. And I won't go too crazy because, it's going to be tough for him to get it off if I go too crazy. But now I have a length out that way, and I have it cut to length where it goes to the tank. So I'm just going to feed the hoses in and then get the screws in there, mount this filter in place. Now I could fill this up with fuel. I may still do that. It may make it prime a little easier. I'm hoping it'll pull it up from the tank. If everything's sealed properly, it should. So that'll be our test to make sure we're sealed properly. So let's get this fuel filter in place, and then we'll work on this pickup tube and the tank sending unit gasket. Right, so next is this fuel sending unit. So we want to make sure all around is really clean. I actually sprayed up a little bit with a little cleaner in here. Not only will it clean, but it'll also keep the dust and debris from kicking around more. It kind of leaves it in place. So we're going to go ahead. We have this kit now, and we're going to go ahead and take care of this first, and then we'll do that pickup tube. So each screw has a little seal on it as well. So we're going to look at the new ones and look at the old ones and see which ones are best. Sometimes the old stuff works a little better. But we want to, at the very least, take care of the gasket. See how there's little gaskets on the screws? So we'll go ahead and open this up. I'm going to open it up over here where I have a nice clean surface, so hopefully I won't lose little tiny parts that I need. So here's our gasket, which we need the most. And I don't see seals on the rest of these. Oh yeah, there are. Let's see. Actually, I kind of like these a little better. So we're going to go ahead and put these in. But for this, and they're also stainless too, but for this I need to make sure the thread is the same, where it threads into the tank. And it is, you can line up threads like this together, and if all of them line up, it fits in, that's the same thread. But I need to go get, looks like a 5/16 or a 3/8 nut driver and a new glove.